See that there? That is the all-new 10th generation Honda Accord, and it is quite simply one of the best cars I've reviewed so far on this channel. Now, I'm not going to throw out such a strong statement like that without backing it up with some reason and logic, and to find out what that logic and reason is, stay tuned here on The Drive Guide. The design isn't one of the reasons why I like this car so much. Proportionally, I think it's great. With that sloping roofline, Honda calls it a fastback. If they wanted to be a little more daring, they could probably call it a four-door coupe. But beyond the proportions, it doesn't really do anything for me. The front looks like Honda gave the Accord a big chrome unibrow. The back looks a little busy. The design of the new Accord isn't what I would classify as beautiful or striking. Other details that I do like, that small chrome strip down on the bottom, and then those 19-inch wheels that we have, because this is the touring model, offers a car that you find yourself looking at, but not really admiring. But enough with the design, let's get on the road, because this is where this car shines. If you're buying a car to do a lot of highway miles in, you are going to be very happy in this Honda Accord. When you're going at highway speed, it's remarkably quiet. Everything is just so well put together. Nothing rattles or flexes. The only real noise you'll hear is from the suspension moving around when it goes over bumps. And that's also really one of the only indications that you have to know that you're going over some uneven pavement, because this car rides beautifully well. The seats are very comfortable too. They feel like they fit me almost perfectly. I would be happy if there was a little more thigh support, but not everyone is 6'4" like me. Another reason why I like this Accord so much is the interior. The design is very clean, if a bit conservative, but everything is where you'd expect it to be. And all the things that you interact with, to the buttons on the steering wheel and the climate control settings down here, they all feel so tactile, so wonderful on the hand. I mean, these buttons here that you have for the heated and cooled seats look like they wouldn't be out of place in a Porsche. I love the way the touchscreen is laid out. It's all very easy to use. If you want to see a more in-depth video of this Honda infotainment system, be sure to hit that like button just down below. Honda's done a very good job of making the graphics on the digital left-hand side and the analog right-hand side equally as bright and as crisp. If you got into this car not knowing that it had one of these digital units, you could be easily fooled into thinking that both of these dials are analog. Of course, with the digital display, you can customize it to give you a whole bunch of very interesting things, along with the interior design and quality. How this car drives on the highway is why I think it's one of the best cars I've ever reviewed on this channel. Every Accord is front-wheel drive, but you can have it with a 1.5-litre four-cylinder or a 2-litre four-cylinder. Here we have the 1.5. It's a turbocharged unit mated here with a CVT, and this engine produces 192 horsepower and 192 pound-feet of torque. Although a 1.5-litre engine doesn't sound that impressive, it's definitely not the most athletic car I've ever driven, but it always provides you enough to easily get out of someone's way, like I'm doing on the highway here. And the turbo surge comes in nice and early, so you have a good wave of torque to ride on. And this is the first CVT that I've come across that I actually like. The reason why I like this CVT is that it acts like any traditional torque converter automatic. The software gives you the illusion that the car is upshifting and downshifting, although it never truly is. The only way you can really tell that it is a CVT is if you're merging onto a highway and you've got your foot planted. The revs will hang at the red line, that rubbery sensation that you would associate with CVTs. But of everything that's available here in this 1.5, I'm struggling to find a reason why you would need to upgrade to a larger engine. Even in its most basic spec, you get a lot in this Accord. So heated front seats, the touchscreen, the 7-inch display, and the instrument cluster, they're all standard alongside Honda's safety equipment. And then if you upgrade to the Touring, which is what we're in, you get heated and ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, heated steering wheel, heads-up display, wireless phone charging. You have so much stuff available to you. Along with the CVT in this 1.5 litre, you can also option a 6-speed manual. That 6-speed manual carries over to the 2-litre engine as well. But interestingly, if you get that 2-litre engine, if you want an automatic, you have to have a 10-speed traditional torque converter. If you do a lot of highway miles, I fully recommend this Honda Accord. It is just such an easy car to drive on the highway. The interior is so well put together and it's hushed. But enough of the highway driving. Let's go into town now to see how this car performs when you use it on a day-to-day basis. I wanted to create this channel to differentiate how a car handled in specific environments. The highway, through town, and then on the twisties. Today isn't a good day to take a car like this up into the twisties, but it does give me a good opportunity to see how this car handles in winter driving. And for a front-wheel drive car, does perfectly well, nothing really to stress about. You'll see the traction control light flicker every so often. But other things to talk about here in town, it is very maneuverable. It seems quite long for most parking spots. You've got a huge trunk. That's one of the really deceiving things about this car. The roof line gets so close to the end of the car that you'd think with that short trunk lid there wouldn't be much space, but there is so much room back there. The sloping roofline, again, you'd think it'd be a hindrance for rear seat comfort, but sitting behind myself, I know that I have a good amount of room, and you've got an armrest that folds down. Visibility all round is pretty good too. You do have a nice cutout between the C and D pillar back there, and then you have plenty of storage in and around the car too. You've got this nice hideaway just under all your climate controls. The center console is nice and spacious, and I feel like I've got plenty of room to move around in too. One thing that is worth noting is that this car does have a heated steering wheel, but it really isn't that hot. I mean, it's been on for a while now, and I can only get really the slight inclination of additional heat. I know the biggest question you're asking yourself is, how does this car stack up to the all-new Toyota Camry? And in all honesty, I haven't driven the Camry, so I can't give you a fair answer there. But that car is going to have to offer a lot if it wants to take the crown off of this Accord. But not only does that car have to compete against it, I think cars such as the Audi A4, BMW 3 Series, cars that are the similar size of this but cost $10,000, $15,000 more, they are going to have to answer to this thing as well. And that is why this car is one of the best I've reviewed so far on this channel. And that's everything from me. Thank you so much for taking the time to watching this video. I hope you can like, share, and subscribe, and I hope to see you again on The Drive Guide.